comedy and storytelling is you got to move the mic stand so you're not having it in front of you. So, anyway, I'm Jay Patterson, and I'm doing Frozen tonight in honor of my sweet friend Julie, who passed away 2 weeks ago, and she was a fellow dirt biker with me. Frozen. To me, frozen equals anxiety, and I have been frozen many times in panics and fear. Tonight, I'm going to tell you about some motorcycle adventure. I was brought up in a home that my mother was nothing, you couldn't do something and just be injured. You would be killed, including vacuuming if you ran over the cord. So my whole life was, you're just gonna die. I would be killed traveling on vacation. I was gonna be killed in an airplane crash. I was gonna be killed riding my motorcycle. I was gonna be killed by possibly one of my husbands. I was going to be killed by some of my drug and alcohol abuse. So I'm very thankful that I'm here to tell this story. I did, in my 40s, I did go to some therapy and some medication which helped me with some of this anxiety. And when I say frozen, I would actually get these panic attacks, and so I would look like this sometimes in the ER. And they go, I'm dying, I'm having a heart attack. And they go, no, you're not. But you would hyperventilate so much that your whole body would cramp and you really couldn't move. It was very scary, but I don't do that anymore. So the next thing, about 25 years ago, I met my husband, Denny, and he really made my life very exciting, and I had to get over some of my fears. I really had a fear of traveling. I just knew that car was going to come over the medium, or the big truck was going to come over the medium and squish us. So far, so good. But he introduced me to off-road motorcycling. So I dirt biking and dual sports, riding all over the country and up in Alaska. But this first year he took me, I had a little dirt bike, and we'd go to the mountains of Colorado, which also I thought I would always die falling off the mountain somewhere. So we'd go way up high in the mountains on these dirt bikes. Now I would really ride on Jeep roads and just places that weren't really dangerous, but really beautiful. So after a couple of years, I'm going to say maybe 3 years, I was feeling pretty confident on this little motorcycle, even though if I got in trouble, for instance, a lot of times I was following Denny. So he'd zip up the side of a steep incline, and I would only get up a little bit and then I'd fall over. So then he would have to walk down the incline and pick up my bike and start it, and then take my bike up for me. So we would always have little adventures like that. So this particular year, I said, I think I'm ready for a single track. Now, is anybody familiar with anything I'm talking about?
Yep.
Okay, good. So, a single track in this term of what I'm talking about is literally your motorcycle wheels are good. That's all that fits on there. And believe me, there are some scary tracks out there. But, I knew there were some tracks out there that I wasn't going to die on a single track. But my husband decided maybe that's the type of single track he'd take me on. And so I said, okay, he goes, well, come on, I'm going to take you to this one that's kind of close. And I said, okay. So to get there, I had to ride over a tree, and I had to go down these, like I'm up here and I had to ride down these rocky steps. And then I'm sure there was something else in my way, and I thought, well, what? I know there's easier ways to get there. But anyway, next thing I know, I'm on the single track. And at first it was okay, maybe for 40 feet. And all of a sudden, there is a ravine on my left, dropping off, And on my right is this steep, I want to say hill, but I keep saying incline to make it more dramatic. So I have this steep incline on the right. I got down about another 50 feet, and a thing about a single track is you don't have room to put your feet down. You don't take them off the pegs and put them on the ground, because there's no room. But I did anyway. And then I couldn't get my feet back on the pegs. So I started screaming, "Danny! Help me! Get me out of here! Get me out of here!" And he turns around because he's ahead of me. And he's like, "What the hell?" So, being a single track, there's no place to turn around. So I kind of tip my bike over and I just roll off the bike. And then I'm on the incline sobbing. Denny rides ahead and has to turn around and walk back because my bike now has to be ridden out and turned around and brought back the other direction. So here's why I'm sobbing. And I was frozen. I had my feet off the pegs and I couldn't move, and I'm either going to tip down to my death or I'm going to roll over. So I'm sobbing, and as I'm up there, I'm feeling stupid, I'm feeling less than, and my friends are riding by. They can't even get around because I'm there sobbing, and so then I'm embarrassed too. So Denny makes it back. He turns around and brings that motorcycle back. Now these dirt bikes are made for one person, so I have to get on the back of it on this narrow trail, and that ravine now is on my right. But luckily my husband is really strong, and he held that bike stable while I'm sobbing and shaking and getting on. So he rides me out of there. He's so brave, he's so strong, and he's really very patient with me. Unlike that one husband that wanted to kill me. And so we ride out, and I get to a position, an area where, okay, I can get on the bike, I'm okay. And now Danny has to walk a mile back to his motorcycle so he can take off. And then he took off knowing that I would never ask to ride on a single track again and be frozen in place. And I think he kind of froze a little bit when he heard me scream, because he's had to get me out of a lot of little skirmishes like that. So I kept riding, and that anxiety and that being frozen crippled me a lot of my life. But now I don't freeze as much as I used to. And I'm really glad, because I think I lost out on a lot of fun, and I think living a fearful life is so sheltering and embarrassing at times. But I really thank God for therapists and medication that's out there to help us through all of these scary stages. So I just want to say, coming here does not make me nervous. I love it. And I don't want to freeze up here, even though I'm cold under this skin. So thank you very much.